Welcome to the Sunday morning meditation service. This is a call and response, and let's begin. Return to your soul. Return to your heart of hearts. To your golden dream. To the child inside. And you'll be coming home. Home to where you first were born. Where your roots are strong. Where you once belonged. God is everywhere. God's painted in eternity. It's who you really are. And who you'll always be. Return to your soul. Remember who you really are. Listen to your heart. Remember who you are. Return to your soul. Return to your heart of hearts. To your golden dream. To the child inside. You'll be coming home. Home to where you first were born. Where your roots are strong. Where you once belonged. God is everywhere. God's painted in eternity. It's who you really are, and who you'll always be. Return to your soul. Remember who you really are. Listen to your heart. Remember who you are. God is everywhere. God's painted in eternity. It's who you really are, and who you'll always be. Return to your soul. Remember who you really are. Listen to your heart. Remember who you are. God is everywhere. God is everywhere. God's painted in eternity. It's who you really are, and who you'll always be. Return to your soul. Remember who you really are. Listen to your heart. Remember who you are. Return to your soul. Return to your soul. Remember who you really are. Oh,
Good morning, everyone. Have you ever had a dream in which you were awake in the dream and you had some controls about what the dream would eventually turn into? Well, that's called lucid dreaming. And there are books written about it, as though there's a technique that you could develop to create lucid dreams. And there are people teaching it. I remember back in San Angelo, Texas, where I had my first ministry, it was very popular. And Unity people were easy targets for the people I wanted to teach this particular idea of lucid dreaming. However, there was it just faded out because it just didn't work, at least for most of the people that wound up in our Unity discussion groups. They did not, or were not capable of making it work. In fact, some of them complained about losing sleep because of trying to do this. And but I believe that you know and or have heard that we are living in a collective dream, that these lives that we live in the world is really being lived in the dreaming of the world. So it's an interesting thought that the most astute master of the dreaming of the world was Don Ruiz. He wrote a book. He wrote a couple of books. One of them was The Four Agreements. And in the book, he revealed the deep spiritual, esoteric truths that the Toltec people embraced. The Toltec people were people that were known throughout southern Mexico as the people of knowledge. And they spent their time developing the esoteric truths that would help human beings find their way into lives worth living. And there was, their legend is that there was this man, a human being like you and I, who lived 3,000 years before, and he was studying to be a medicine man. But with all of his studies, he began to realize that the ancestors whose truths he was learning were missing something. They could not fulfill what it is he believed a medicine person should know. And so he went on his own, and one day while he was asleep in a cave, he dreamed or believed that he left his body and saw himself sleeping there. And as he considered this for quite a while, watching himself sleeping, he wondered if he was out of his body or actually just dreaming that he was out of his body. But he went back into his body, or was drawn back into his body. And then he got up and he left the cave and stood outside the cave and looked at the night sky, which was filled with billions of stars. And he had a revelation. That revelation came through him with his own voice. And it said, I am made of the stars. I am light. And the revelation went on that the stars did not create the light, but the light created the stars. And the light created the space between the stars. And this revelation led him to understand the whole concept of the cosmos, that it was created and guided by light. And that light was all of life and everything created in life. But he also came to the awareness that he wasn't the stars. And he had a revelation following that revealed to him, no, you're not the stars. But he came to understand that he was beneath the stars, but that the stars represented the ethereal, and that beneath the stars was the firmament, and that these two were kept in harmony by the force of light itself that sought harmony in its creations. But he came to realize there were difficult things to deal with, being between the ethereal and the physical, or the firmament as he understood it. And so he went about his way, and as he left the entrance to the cave, he came to see a tree. It was just in the beginning of the light of day, and he saw himself in the tree. And then he saw himself in the birds that flew around the tree. And he saw himself in everything that he looked at. He saw himself, and he realized that life was mirroring back to him his reality, or who he truly was, because he saw himself in everything. And when he had this revelation, his heart was filled with peace and love. And he couldn't wait to tell his people what he had discovered. But when he tried to tell them, the words were not available to describe his experience of joy and oneness. And they misunderstood him. And they said that he was different. And he was, because he no longer had any negative judgments about anyone or anything. And they said that he was too different to really be considered one of them. And so they said, you must be a God. You must be an incarnation of God. And he smiled and he said to them, yes, I am God, but so are you, all of you. But they didn't believe it, and they were really concerned about him. and stayed away from him as best they could. And as he got along, he put this revelation and his discovery and his recognition into these symbols that his people would have forever. And this is what his symbolic writing actually revealed. Can we have this first PowerPoint, please? This is from the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is what he discovered. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the one living being we call God. Everything is God. And he came to the conclusion that human perception is merely light perceiving light. He also saw that the matter is a mirror, that matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. And the world of illusion, the dream, is just like smoke, which doesn't allow us to see what we really are. The real us is pure love, pure light, he said. Can we take that back again, please? This is the essence of the revelation of the Toltec master. This is what he discovered. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the one living being we call God. Everything is God. And he came to the conclusion that human perception is merely light, perceiving light. He also saw that matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. And the world of illusion, the dream, is just like smoke, which doesn't allow us to see what we really are. The real us is pure love and pure light, he said. When he uses the term smoke, he's using it in a way, because this is prior to this, he's using it in a way to declare how smoke distorts the vision and changes it so that it keeps us from recognizing that we are pure light and pure love. And he had recognized that he could see himself in every other human being, in every animal, in every tree. He could see himself in the water, in the rain. He could see himself in everything, the earth, and everything that lived upon the earth. He could see himself, even though he was still separate. Now, here's an interesting point that Edgar Cayce makes, which is it's in a situation that is in opposition to the final or the deeper truth of A Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles is leading us to understand that we are God and all is God, and that we should live from that awareness. But it also implies that we should become God. So that when we say we are one with God, there's no longer any separate person that knows that and lives from that. That's A Course in Miracles. But Edgar Cayce says we are God. We are one with God. But he says we are one with God, but we are not God. So we can manifest the attributes and the nature of God, and we can know ourselves to be separate in manifesting the nature and attributes of God. But we are not God. So there's a difference there. between Edgar Casey's readings, and those particular truths are expressed throughout the Casey readings. And so it is true also for the Course in Miracles. And but this idea of that Don Miguel Ruiz extracts from the Toltec teachings is that we are God, but we have no awareness of being God. And that's what the original master recognized when he spoke about smoke. We have no awareness of being God, and so we live quite often in opposition to the will of God. Whereas if we were awake and there was no smoke, we could live more effectively, beautifully, joyfully, harmoniously, and we would then be awake in our dream, which is the ultimate ideal of the esoteric truths of the Toltec ancestors, that we should awaken in our dream. Now, of course, A Miracle and other high spiritual teachings say we should awake from the dream so that there would be no dream. There would be no knowledge that I am awake in the dream. There would only be beingness, which, as I said, Edgar Casey does not embrace. His teachings do not. But we should think about that. I mean, where are you in the idea? Are you desirous of awakening from the dream so that you have no longer any experiences as being a separate body-mind in a world of phenomena? Or are you more interested in awakening in the dream so that the attributes of God, you are aware of the attributes of God, and you see in everything the necessity to express these attributes of God because they bring healing, harmony, and peace into the world in which you find yourself. So it's an interesting thing that we have these two different paths now. Let me share this with you from the 4 agreements. Can you use the next PowerPoint, please? The initial master could understand everyone very well, but no one could understand him. And what is that an ongoing story in the spiritual journey? Is that not the story of Jesus? Is that not the story of Jonathan Livingston Seagull? I mean, everybody that's ever been involved in understanding how this thing transpires has said that. They believed that he was an incarnation of God, and he smiled when he heard this, and he said, "It is true, I am God, but you are also God. We are the same, you and I. We are images of light. We are God." But still the people didn't understand him. And I think that's our situation today. That we are living and aware, but we don't have we're not yet free of the smoke, free of the illusions of the world that distort the way we see life. And so we're not those who manifest the attributes of God because we still operate in the illusion. And if we were to awaken from the illusion, we would be able to see that everything we look upon, everyone, is also God, but not yet in the awareness that they are God. So their journey is still to find this truth. And if you're new here today, I have to revolve, I have to go back to, because I know sometimes people become concerned because I don't mention the Bible. But the fact of the matter is, this is all revealed in the Bible when you understand it from its deepest levels. But on a very surface level, Jesus said, the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, is within you. And in the Gospel of Thomas, he said it's all around you, but you don't see it, which is an indication that the smoke is still too dominant in the awareness of people. So they don't see the attributes of God. They're not there in the expression of love, healing love and peace. They don't see life as being so beautiful. How much more beautiful could life be than to know that it is God seeking to come into expression through people? How beautiful could it be that the universe is this intelligence, this love, this beauty seeking to come into physical manifestation through people? You could call the smoke that's in the way of that occurring, you could call the smoke from this master of the Toltec, you could call the smoke the illusion of the ego in human consciousness. For it projects limited thoughts and limited ideas all the time based on the illusion, listen to it, that we are not God. We are not here to just express healing love, consideration, forgiveness, and peace. And that is the illusion of the world. That is what the world thinking derives from. That's the foundation of the errors in consciousness of the world. And it's why Jesus spoke about overcoming the world. Can we have this next PowerPoint, please? From the Four Agreements, Don Ruiz, humans are dreaming all the time. Before we were born, the humans before us created a big outside dream. You know, this is the dilemma. And this is the ongoing dilemma being expressed right here. This is it. If you think to yourself, or you've said to people, I don't know what's wrong, or I don't know what's wrong with him, or I don't know what's wrong with them, or I don't know what's wrong in what's taking place in this country, or I don't know what's wrong with people. When you're saying that, this is really why you are saying that. No, take it back, please. Humans are dreaming all the time. Before we were born, the humans before us created a big outside dream that we will call society's dream, or the dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is the collective dream of billions of smaller personal dreams, which together create a dream of a family, a dream of a community, a dream of a city, a dream of a country, and finally of the whole humanity. We are born with the capacity to learn how to dream, and the humans who lived before us teach us how to dream the way society dreams. Take this back again, please. Humans are dreaming all the time. Before we were born, the humans before us created a big outside dream that we will call society's dream, or the dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is the collective dream of billions of smaller personal dreams, which together create a dream of a family, a dream of a community, a dream of a city, a dream of a country, and finally, of the whole humanity. We are born with the capacity to learn how to dream, and the humans who lived before us teach us how to dream the way society dreams, the way they dreamed, the way they believed. And they were never awake in the dreaming of their world. So, we are the recipients of that dilemma. We have to come to that. If you really wanted to get involved in spiritual transformation, you have to come to understanding that. To continue to be tossed around in the thinking of the world, hoping that somehow or other you're going to get a couple of handles on the world that's going to make the world work so that you will have your expectations, personal expectations met. You'll be able to heal the problems that confront you, and all of that cannot come to anyone through the thinking of the world. It can only arrive when one awakens in the dream of the world and sees the dreaming of society and so many, and knows that they are seeking, but seeking incorrectly. For they are still looking to somehow or other make it happen through their intellectual prowess, their abilities to connive and control. And it can never happen that way. It can only happen through the awakening in the dream itself. And when you awaken in the dream itself, you're awakening to the fact that, so if you don't get anything else out of this talk, you might be saying, this is kind of confusing. It's fine. It's okay, because I'm going to be talking about it again next week, the week after, and the week after that. But if you don't get anything else out of this talk, what is being said is that beyond the smoke, beyond the egocentric illusions that we were born and raised in, when we awaken, we know that we are light and love. And that's what we are at the very core of our being, because we were indeed created in the image and likeness of the Creator who is light. And this master of the Toltecs realized that it is light that creates the stars, and even the space between the stars. It is light that creates everything. Every form is created by the light, and the light has this intelligence, which you could define as love, that also seeks only harmony, wholeness, peace, truth. In short, we are dreaming the world we live in, but we have not yet the divine awareness. We do not know yet that we are also emanations of the light. And so it's incumbent upon us to take to task our own awareness so that we will catch the mind that has been badly conditioned to deny love, to deny consideration to anything. Because everything you look upon, you can see yourself in it. And instead of seeing something that is offensive to you, you will automatically see something that is struggling toward the light of its reality, struggling to know itself as light. So judgment leaves, just as the master had no negative images of anything or anyone anymore. But of course, the people did not understand him. Did you know that that's true? That an enlightened person is looking at everyone with this incredible compassion and awareness. But those who are not yet in that place of consciousness, they see an enlightened person just as they are, lost in the dreaming that society gave them. They can't see it for the most part. They can't behold it. And so you have that to deal with. And it's the reason why Jesus was crucified. And it wasn't that Christ was crucified once 2,000 years ago, because Jesus only represents the universal consciousness of the light and the attributes and the nature of the light. And that is crucified every day. So Christ is crucified every day by anyone who contemplates and holds and harbors loveless thoughts, considers loveless actions. That is a confession to the crucifixion of the Christ within. So that's our calling, to take to task our own awareness, to use spiritual practice to then catch the mind when it's caught up in the thinking or the dream of society. Catch the mind and give yourself an affirmation to instead choose healing peace instead of some type of resistance. You know that Eckhart Tolle's entire teaching, the fact that he became so famous, everything that he wrote, Eckhart Tolle, can be distilled down to a single truth. That when you find inner resistance in yourself, you are resisting what is. Instead of transcending it, instead of blessing it, forgiving it, releasing it, you are resisting it. And that resistance comes from your dreaming of society as it was conditioned for you to dream. That you're a separate body mind in a world of separate others. And I have my rights. And when things go against my expectations, then I have every right to vie against it, punish it. That's all there is, by the way. That's all there is. I just see what happened just now. I'm not resisting anything right now. You may go ahead and play the bowl. I'm just making a point. We're going to take some time for meditation. Meditation has been actually referred to as the gateway to light or enlightenment. So it's one of the spiritual practices that is of high value to those who really want to transcend the limited thinking that holds the world in conflict. So I'll begin by taking a couple of deep breaths. As you release the breath, breathing in and out, becoming more willing to just be sitting here, allowing life to be what it is. Just allowing. You might begin to feel a peace, a divine peace. You might begin to experience this love without conditions. Because you're quieting the thinking of the world and you're seeking to just be present in this moment without any inner resistance. And it may help to bring gently to mind this ideal. And if other thoughts come in, it's okay. Don't try to fight with any limited thoughts that may come. Just return your mind gently to this ideal. As I release the false perception of separation and let my awareness accept and merge with the moment, I enter the sacred love awareness. As I release the false perception of separation and let my awareness accept and merge with the moment, I enter the sacred love awareness. As I release the false perception of separation and let my awareness accept and merge with the moment, I enter the sacred love awareness. As we go forth from this meditation to those places we occupy in time and space, let's go forth with a greater devotion to the transformation we are called to be involved in. For this opportunity in every moment, we give thanks. And to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And those of you watching live stream, you have the different ways you can tithe to unity. I would suggest you do tithe. Even if you don't attend the physical church center anymore and are watching this online, why don't you help continue the truth so that more and more people can take advantage of it and find life truly worth living, which also includes tithing. And everyone here can just bring into their hands that gift they'd like to make to unity, and we can bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is.
I feel your love in every breath I take. Oh Lord, I live for you. I feel your love in every breath I take. Oh Lord, I live for you.
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth. The Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen. For those of you who would like to stay and discuss anything that had to do with this talk today, or unity in general, just stop over in our fellowship hall. We have refreshments over there. You can partake of them, and in a couple minutes I'll be over and we can circle up the chairs and discuss anything you'd like to discuss.
In the meantime, you can go into our gift shop, and it's got the most incredible gifts that you'd ever want to find right there. It's so well laid out, so experience it. It's like a spiritual experience. So just go out the door and go to your left. Okay.
To everyone, have an awakened day.